Me?
Yes. You see, you and I both want the same thing. We have the same goal. That means it's in my best interest to continue to protect and keep you safe as well. Even now.
I'm not sure how much protecting I'll need either, but I appreciate the thought. I'm sure you'll do us proud, Kisara.
Right. You can all count on me.
What was Kelzalek even after in the end?
Isn't it obvious? Clearly he wanted the throne for himself, and was gonna have his goons execute Dohalim to get it.
He had to have known he couldn't hope to defeat a lord. He should have run while he had the chance, instead of holding himself up in the palace.
Maybe he thought he couldn't run? Either way, the outcome's the same.
So he got desperate and decided to go for broke?
One might argue that he was another victim of mine, in a sense.
Huh?
There is no greater calling in life to a Renin than the crown contest, yet I refused to take part. The shock he felt at that must have been truly immense. Enough to drive him to revolt, even though doing so meant defying Renin hierarchy.
I know I've said this before, but Dahnans and Renins wouldn't coexist here if it wasn't for your stance.
But that was no lofty idealism on my part, nor do I feel any pride at what occurred.
Spare us the pity party. You literally just joined us to uphold those ideals.
Shion?
No, she is absolutely correct. I shall speak no more of my misgivings.
I think Hoodle senses something.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Let's dispose of the trash.
It's over!
Be
still!
Here I go! Again, back into the fray! If they rush you, you gotta jump for cover, okay?
They can't lay a finger on me.
I prefer it that way. What about you?
Just watch and see.
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
All aboard the victory train!
Overconfidence can bite you in the butt. Get lost!
Here I come! Damn it!
I'm on it!
Freeze Lancer!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
We are the champ! Strike!
Annihilation! Wind Astral
Rising
Energy!
Falcon! This one keeps charging out! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
See that?
That training's paying off! It's over!
Over so soon?
What's this thing?
Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo. Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo. Maybe something's going on in the forest.
An opponent like this should be easy. Sword Lane Alpha! Come and face me! Here I come! Double Demon Fang! Sword Lane Alpha! Be still! Take this! You're finished!
Get on in there with the others.
Rising Smash! You're mine!
I guess you had your uses now and again.
Just
Told ya! Rise up!
Do it! Battle Astral Energy!
Say no more!
You sure showed them.
All in a day's work.
A fish!
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. Now where might those fish be? There's a nice breeze here. Hup. Looks like I lost it. Yeah! There we go. Dagnabbit! It got away. Time to try a different spot. Yeah! Reel it in. Anybody could reel in that.
That went pretty well.
Yeah! There we go. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
You sure know what you're doing.
All right. She's got a good size to her, all told.
I can't believe you caught that with a rod. Amazing.
Time to try a different spot. Reel it in. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Guess it's important to stay calm.
Ha! Is this what I think it is? Anybody could reel in that.
Guess it's important to stay calm.
Ha! Reel it in. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Maybe you could keep it as a pet.
I've got something. Boy, that's a bit of a letdown.
Nice work!
Could it be? Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
You sure know what you're doing.
Reel it in. You've gotta know when to quit. Hup. There we go. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Looks like a pretty energetic fish.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
We should be able to...
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey, though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Have you got... Guys checked your equipment lately?
Hey, that looks pretty good.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, Law?
Huh? Why are you asking me? Hell yeah! There's no way you can complain about how this tastes!
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol. The one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! You're finished!
On guard! Dance in the wind!
Take this!
I never miss! Airborne beat! My
Sword Rain Alpha!
evil!
Sword
Flaming me
Got
now!
fire!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
You're finished!
Blade!
Not today!
In here!
Take this!
Who wants to die next?
Sword Rain Alpha!
This one's mine! I think I'm getting stronger.
All right. There's nowhere to run from my heart.
When he slows down, that's our chance! Take this! It's over!
Prepare to be serious.
Burning strike!
Take this!
Here I come!
Prepare to be sealed. Actually, perhaps found is more appropriate.
Less talking and more doing.
In a bind?
You're mine! Double Demon Fang! Sword Rain Alpha! Lightning Thrust! No escape! Mirage! Dazzle! Sword Rain Alpha!
Tiger Blade!
Make it real!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that case.
My lady?
Something you wanted to say?
You're mine!
Make it rain!
In an instant! Impact Block!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dan in history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
Good to know my training is paying off.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen. What's with that shining foe over there?
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! You're finished! Good shot! Give her Alpha! Watch your next swarm!
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
Swordling Alpha! Be still! Take this!
Fine, freeze! Why can't they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Good eye! You're finished! Here! It's time to the station!
Look sharp. Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Take this! It's over!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Step back. This one's all law.
Let's dispose of the trash.
It's over!
Can't get out of this.
You want me? It's over!
It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
Double Demon Fang! Sword Ring!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that!
Sword Ring Alpha!
Raging Storm!
Here I come!
One at a
Sword
time!
Ring Alpha! Double Demon Fang!
Now!
Live up!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
I'm not done!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil! We managed to turn the tide!
Time to
For
let
now.
it rip!
But things could shift at a moment's notice.
You're right! Better stay alert!
Sword Ring Alpha!
To make it fall!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Now! Take this! Rising Falcon!
Going in!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet and... This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah. We used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
Damn. You weren't messing around.
Go no further!
Eternal Devastation!
Shining Supernova! Let us dance in the wind! Sweet Echo is a duel of the arts! Searing Flame! Reload! Art going in!
Take this!
Take Magna Ray!
Sword Ring
Tiger
Alpha!
Blade!
Come one, come all!
That's my cue! Make it red!
Shut him! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
This one's
Mine!
Rising Falcon!
Lightning Orb! Raging
You're
Cascade!
mine!
Mine!
Sword Ring Alpha!
Do it! Tiger Blade!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Glacial Spear!
My turn!
Pierce evil!
Strike!
Here goes! Freeze!
Didn't even break a sweat.
Hi, Hoodle!
Take this! Sword Ring Alpha!
Radiant! Here! Here goes! Don't mind if I do! Going in! Glacial Spear!
Take
Here's
this!
evil!
You're finished!
Thunder
Eternal
Rain!
Devastation!
It's just
Sword Ring
time!
Alpha!
Do it!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
It's over! Rising Falcon!
Annihilation! Watch it!
Here I come!
Do it!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Wow! Look what I just found.
Lightning! Don't worry!
Ignite!
Tiger Blade!
You're mine!
Glacial Spear!
Total devastation!
Tiger Blade!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Got it!
Here's a healing
Well
done.
Crush! Crush!
Build up feelings so great.
Double demon fang!
Leaving smelling to me. Yeah! Tumbling to me!
Raging Tiger
Double
Blade!
demon!
I'm on the
Total devastation! You're mine! Sword Rain Alpha!
Tiger Blade!
You're mine! This one's all yours!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Here's a healing
Not
dart.
again!
This one's mine!
First aid!
Appreciate that!
Total devastation!
Tiger Blade!
Can't move!
Don't leave me all alone
Dance in the wind! I'll bring you back some Tiger Blade! For the stockpile!
It may have bit off more than I could chew.
Healing
Double
Tiger!
demon fang!
I can only rely on myself.
With this, I can become even stronger. This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
More Danin runes here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to...
Out of our way!
Sword Rain Alpha! Crush! You're done! You're finished! You're mine! Double demon fang! I'm not done! I'm on it!
Searing
Take this!
Leave the enemy's arcs to me.
It's over!
No complaints here!
Here I come! Now! Soaring Light Spear!
Annihilation!
Crush!
I'm all stuffed up.
You're mine! You're finished!
You hear it now!
Not a chance! I'm not done! Crush!
Wind astral energy! Raging cascade!
I'm on it! You're mine!
Rip and tear!
Do it! Dueling! In an instant! Impact block!
Easy peasy. Ha hoodle.
I won't forgive you!
It's over!
Hey, when did I get so popular? I'll finish you here
Sword
and
Rain
now!
Alpha! Double demon fang! Here I come! It's over! Eternal devastation!
Well, someone seems in tip-top form.
Nothing new about that count.
And still as humble as ever.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Now! Here I come! You're finished! Mirage! I'm on it! Sword Rain Alpha! I'll run you through! Crush! Here I come!
Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
I've been doing really great lately.
What's this thing? I sure builds up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about...
No backing down! You're finished! I'm like a fool. Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha! Eternal devastation! Sword Rain Alpha! Be still! You're mine!
I wish I could grow like you, Law.
You wish to learn my secrets, young Nelson?
Yes, Master.
You are
Teach
in
me the art
tip-top
of defense.
shape.
As soon as I'm done here, come help out.
How could a girl ever say no?
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Now! Astral energy!
Say no more.
Seems about right to me.
No backing down! You're finished!
Not on my watch!
Sword Rain Alpha! Eternal devastation! Here I come! Double Demon Fang! Sword Rain Alpha!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Shut!
Well done!
You're mine! You're finished!
Well, someone seems in tip-top form. Nothing new about that. And still as humble as ever.
Thank goodness we won!
We seem to have come across something a little unusual.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Can't get out of this! Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fang! Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fang! Dazzle! Here I come!
I'm out!
Take this! Here it is! By the power of water! Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fang! Sword Rain Alpha! Take this! It's over!
Won't save you!
Sword Rain
So
Alpha!
those are Dan and Astral.
Look sharp. Lightning Tiger Blade.
I think I'm getting stronger.
Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for
They got me flanked!
throbs in pain.
You're mine! This one's all mine! I'm on Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fang! Sword Rain Alpha!
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady.
Something you wanted to say?
Sword Rain Alpha! Lightning Rough! You picked the wrong fight!
Let's get you all Now you can do
Go
it!
on! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Now! Take this! Sword Rain Alpha!
Art Seal!
Double Demon Fang! Not a chance! I'm not done!
Swallow dance!
Onward and upward.
This'll... make us even more formidable.
cyclone!
No! Take this! You're finished! Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
Here I come! It's over! You're on!
There! Eat this!
Eternal devastation!
Hurricane! Astral energy!
Say no more!
I need to be stronger.
Guess I misread.
Let's dispose of the trash.
It's over! Sword Rain Alpha!
Freeze Lancer!
Eagle Assault! I'm Sword Rain Alpha! Take this! It's over! Crush!
Get on it, Freeze Lancer!
Eat this! Take this! I'm on it! Double Demon Blast! Sword Rain Alpha!
Do it!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
See that?
That training's paying off! Hurrah!
Annihilation! Hear me! Flame of fury! Do it!
There's always room for improvement.
An opponent like this should be easy. Sword Rain Alpha! Crush! Sword Rain Alpha! Take this!
Not on my watch! Power of water!
Take this!
Dragon
The tide of battle has turned. That's the power of comrades in arms. Comrades in arms.
What? Too sentimental?
You're finished! Rising Champion! Sword Rain Alpha!
Radiant here!
Double stop! Watch it! Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fang!
Do it!
Here I come!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Now!
Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Now! Here I come!
Eat this!
One totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
This is barely target practice.
Then why bother fighting them?
Because I certainly won't run away from a battle.
Is it just me, or is anyone else peckish?
that big tower over there?
Judging by the stench, I'd say the animals at the ranch are all grown now.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
There are still so many creatures we don't know about.
Have you been writing stuff down about what we fight?
Yep. It's actually pretty fun to observe them from afar.
This looks perfect. Guaranteed to hit the spot.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
Sorry for rambling on so much about my past earlier.
Don't sweat it. It was fun hearing you reminisce about the good old days.
Come on, you don't have to pretend with me. I know I can tend to go on sometimes when it comes to my brother.
You said it, not me. Anyway, I don't think it's something for you to be embarrassed about.
Hey, Alphen. When you were a kid, was there ever a time when you had to bury someone younger than you?
Well, it's hard to say. I'm guessing that you have, though.
Yeah. During the previous crown contest, with the Lord before Dohalim. Life back then was truly hell. I think that's why I tried to ignore what Miguel was telling me for so long. Because I was afraid of going back to such a dark time. Of losing hope. I wanted to believe in our paradise so much that I doubted the one person I should have trusted most. I don't blame blame Dohalim for that. I simply didn't want to face facts. And I ended up trying to project my ideals onto everyone else.
It's strange. Whenever you and Dohalim talk about Menancia, it's always like it's some big failure. We're talking about fixing 300 years worth of damage here. Isn't it a bit optimistic to think it was all going to be resolved after only 5?
You might be right. Maybe it was a mistake when Menancia... No. When I decided to stop seeing the darkness in our society. I have to admit the truth. To myself, first of all. I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Rise and shine. We're almost ready to leave.
Guess I misread the landing. Not this way, I guess. Not this way, I guess.
Retreat if you know what's good for you. In a bind?
One more!
Turn your blade! Here I go! Press it! Annihilation! Mega Ray!
Elusive fury! Freeze you!
Why can't they just sit still?
Seal, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Annihilation! Mega Ray!
Leave the enemy's art to me.
No complaints here!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
That firepower of yours is really something.
I could say the same.
Right, here goes! Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fight! Eternal Devastation! It's on! Eternal Devastation!
Airborne scoundrel.
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
You're finished!
Going in!
Rising Falcon! Take this! It's over! Double Demon Fight!
This one's mine!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Do it!
In an instant!
Impact Block!
Together, there is nothing that can stop us.
Indeed. As one, we are unrivaled.
And that is our greatest strength.
No choice! You're mine!
Going in!
It's over! Not today!
Leave the agile.
Make it rain!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Now! Here I come! I'll take you all on!
Prepare to be sealed, though fleet of foot. Actually, bound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing.
Double Demon!
I owe you all that. And just like that, I'm back in it.
Start by holding the front line.
No sooner said than done.
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that game.
In an instant! Impact Block!
I feel sprightlier than before.
Out of our way!
Here I come! It's over!
Hey, when did I get so lucky? Here
You're
goes!
on! I'm not done! Sword Rain Alpha! Eternal Explosion! It got fire!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
The enemy will all shoot.
You'll soon see about that! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say? Well, looky here!
Right, here goes! Not the earth! Sword Rain Alpha!
Ready to go!
I'm surrounded! Eternal Devastation!
Resonate with the
You're
earth.
mine!
Annihilation! Here is flame of fury! Burning strike! Glacial spear!
You're done! I'm not done!
Freeze laser!
Double Demon Shield!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say? Let the marksman handle this.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Over so soon?
Out of our way!
No further!
Here I come!
Mega Red!
Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Back! Sword Rain Alpha! You're mine! Sword Rain Alpha!
sure you survived it.
That's my cue.
Shut him down.
Resonate with the earth.
Ignite! Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha!
I'm ready!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
This death shall not be forgotten.
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a concern.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
No backing down!
It's over!
My swallow dance! I'm like bait to them!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Eat this!
Sword Rain Alpha! You're finished!
I'm all
Just get it!
Sword Rain Alpha! You're mine!
I'm ready!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Here I go.
Now!
Do it!
Take this!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
So I still had room to grow.
Finally, some open space again.
Want something to munch on, Hoodle? Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?